Have you ever walked into a room and felt the energy shift? Conversations get a little quieter. People straighten up. Someone who was laughing a second ago suddenly looks like they're choosing their words very carefully. And you stand there thinking, what did I do? I literally just said hi. If that sounds familiar, I want you to sit with something for a moment, because the story you've been telling yourself is probably wrong. You assume you're being awkward. You assume people don't like you. But what if the truth is the complete opposite? What if people act strange around you not because you're off-putting, but because some part of them is quietly impressed, intimidated, or unsure how to keep up? Let me show you what's actually happening inside their heads, because once you see it, you'll never read a room the same way again. Here's the thing about human beings. We're walking threat detection machines. Long before we had language, our ancestors survived by reading dominance and status in a split second. A confident posture, steady eye contact, a calm voice that doesn't rush to fill silence. These weren't just personality traits back then. They were signals of someone who held power in the group. And your brain still runs that ancient software today, even in a coffee shop, even in a Zoom meeting. So when someone fidgets around you, over-explains themselves, or laughs a little too hard at your jokes, they're not malfunctioning. They're responding to signals you're sending without even knowing it. Psychologists call a lot of this social calibration, the way we instinctively adjust ourselves around people we perceive as higher status. And the wild part is, the more grounded and self-assured you are, the more other people unconsciously shrink to match the contrast. The first sign is one almost nobody recognizes in themselves. You hold eye contact comfortably while others look away. Most people, when they talk, glance away constantly. They break contact to relieve the tension, because sustained eye contact is genuinely uncomfortable for the brain. It activates the same regions involved in self-awareness and emotional intensity. So when you're someone who can just look at a person, calmly, without flinching, you accidentally create a pressure they can't quite name. They feel seen, and being truly seen makes people nervous. You're not staring them down. You're just present. But to a brain wired to look away, your steadiness reads like dominance. The second sign hides in the silences. Have you noticed you don't panic when a conversation goes quiet? Most people treat silence like a fire alarm, scrambling to fill it with anything: a nervous joke, a random fact, an apology. But you can let a pause breathe. And here's the psychology of it. Whoever is most comfortable with silence controls the conversation. Negotiators know this. Therapists know this. When you don't rush to rescue an awkward moment, the other person feels compelled to, and that subtle dynamic puts you in the position of calm authority. They walk away thinking you're intense or hard to read, when really you just weren't afraid of a little quiet. The third sign is your honesty. You say what you mean. You don't drown your opinions in 100 softeners and qualifiers. And in a world where most people speak in apologies, where every sentence starts with, "Sorry, this might be dumb, but," your directness lands like a thunderclap. It's not that you're rude. It's that clarity has become so rare that it feels almost confrontational. People aren't used to someone who just tells them the truth without performing 5 minutes of emotional cushioning first. So they get a little defensive, a little careful, because they can't predict you the way they predict everyone else. The fourth sign is something you can't even see, and that's the way you carry your body. Open shoulders, an unhurried walk, a stillness when you stand instead of constant nervous shifting. There's research going back decades on what's called expansive posture, the way taking up space communicates confidence before you ever open your mouth. Your nervous system and theirs are in a quiet conversation the whole time, and a settled body broadcasts safety and strength at once. People read it instantly. They just don't know they're reading it. The fifth sign might sting a little, so stay with me. You have standards, and you don't apologize for them. You don't laugh at jokes you don't find funny just to be liked. You don't pretend to agree to keep the peace. You're willing to be the only person in the room who isn't nodding along. And that, more than almost anything, unsettles people, because most of human social life runs on quiet conformity. When someone refuses to play that game, it holds up a mirror to everyone who does. They're not uncomfortable with you. They're uncomfortable with what your independence reveals about their own people-pleasing. The sixth sign is your relationship with approval, or rather, your lack of desperation for it. Think about how most interactions work. There's a subtle current of "please like me" running underneath, the little laugh, the eager agreement, the overthanking. But when you genuinely don't need someone's approval to feel okay, that neediness vanishes from your energy. And paradoxically, that's exactly what makes people want your approval. Status, in psychological terms, often flows toward whoever appears to need it least. You're not playing hard to get. You're just whole on your own. And a whole person is magnetic and intimidating in equal measure. The seventh sign lives in how you listen. Not the fake listening where someone's just waiting for their turn to talk, but the real kind, where you actually go quiet and absorb what a person is saying. This is rarer than you'd think, and it's disarming. When you listen with full attention and then respond to what they actually said, people feel almost exposed because they're used to half presence. Your depth of attention signals a kind of inner security. You're not anxiously rehearsing your next line. You're just there. And that level of presence can feel like being placed under a gentle spotlight. The eighth sign is maybe the deepest of all. You've done the work of becoming comfortable with yourself, and self-assurance has a frequency that other people can feel even across a room. It's in the way you don't flinch at criticism, the way you can laugh at your own mistakes, the way you're not constantly managing what everyone thinks of you. That kind of inner stillness is rare, and rarity creates distance. People don't always know how to relate to someone who isn't fighting their own insecurities out loud, because so much of bonding happens through shared anxiety, through, "Oh my gosh, me too." When you've quietly outgrown that, you become a little harder to reach, and that gap is what reads as intimidating. So let me ask you something. After hearing all of this, doesn't the whole picture flip? Every single one of these signs, the eye contact, the comfort with silence, the honesty, the posture, the standards, the independence, the deep listening, the self-assurance, none of these are flaws. They're not reasons people dislike you. They're reasons people don't quite know how to be casual around you yet. And here's the part I really want you to hold on to. Being intimidating is not the same as being unkind. The goal was never to dim yourself so other people feel taller. The goal is to understand your own gravity, so you can choose, deliberately, to make others feel safe inside it. A truly powerful person doesn't make the room smaller. They walk in with all that calm and steadiness, and then they use it to put people at ease, to pull the quietest person into the conversation, to make their strength feel like a warm place instead of a wall. So the next time someone acts a little weird around you, fumbles their words, or seems unsure how to act, don't shrink, and don't assume the worst about yourself. Just smile a little softer, lower the temperature, and let them catch up. You were never too much. You were simply ahead of the moment, and now you know it. If even one of these 8 signs felt like it was describing you, I'd love to know which one hit hardest, so drop it in the comments below. And if you want to keep understanding the quiet psychology that shapes how people see you, stick around, because there's so much more going on beneath the surface than anyone ever tells you.